Good day, everyone. Today, we are shedding light on a pressing issue that continues to affect countless children worldwide: the sexual exploitation of children. This alarming reality persists despite efforts to combat it, and our group has gathered crucial insights to further understand the gravity of this situation. We will discuss the different forms of exploitation, the role of organization fighting against these abuses, and the underlying causes that make children vulnerable to such crimes.
Sexual exploitation and abuse of children remain rampant in many parts of the world, including here in the Philippines. It takes on different forms such as human trafficking, online sexual abuse, and exploitation of children, and even abuse within communities. Multiple avenues become the platforms in which children get exposed to the act. The rise of internet facilitated abuse, particularly through live streaming and online grooming, has significantly increased. With easy access to digital platforms, predators can connect with children from anywhere, often deceiving them with promises of financial assistance.
Ang organization namin, tinatawag siyang ECPAT Philippines. So, ECPAT Philippines started way back 1991. So, it's actually 33 years old na si ECPAT. It started with a call from Asia countries. So, it was called before as End Child Prostitution in Asian Countries. So, yun yung unang meaning talaga ni ECPAT. It was a call before by the different organization kasi during that time, nagiging malaki yung issue and nagiging rampant yung issue ng child prostitution sa mga Asian countries. So nabuo si ECPAT Philippines to give to response dun sa issue na yun, so dun sa emerging and nagiging rampant na issue na yun. So lumipas yung mga taon, like naging marami yung mga actions na ginawa ni ECPAT, pero nakita ni ECPAT Philippines na-observe niya doon sa mga research, sa mga study, na hindi lang pala sa child prostitution pwedeng mabiktima yung mga bata. So pumasok na doon yung maraming issue na ng sexual exploitation. So hindi lang si prostitution, pumasok na yung tinatawag natin na trafficking. So I think familiar kayo lahat sa trafficking, no? So, tinatawag natin, especially yung tinatawag natin na child sex trafficking. And then pumasok din si child pornography. Pornography pa yung tawag nila that time.
One of the key organizations leading the fight against child sexual exploitation is ECPAT Philippines, which works closely with the government in putting an end to these heinous crimes. But what is ECPAT Philippines? ECPAT Philippines is a global organization committed to eliminating all forms of child sexual exploitation. In the Philippines, it operates hand in hand with the government and other organizations like MU. ECPAT Philippines have established multiple stations across the country, mostly in places like Boracay, which are famous tourist spots in the Philippines, providing safe spaces for victims and at-risk children. ECPAT Philippines offers legal assistance, trauma counseling, and rehabilitation programs to help survivors rebuild their lives. Additionally, organizations like ECPAT Philippines conduct educational campaigns to empower communities and spread awareness about the dangers of child exploitation. By working with local law enforcement and national agencies, they also help track and dismantle trafficking networks operating within the country.
In this particular report, our group has gathered data from ECPAT Philippines, particularly in Bohol, to present. Through our research and interview with ECPAT Philippines representative Honorable Hein B. Bajang, we discovered that one of the leading causes of child exploitation is material needs. Many children are lured into these dangerous situations in exchange for money, gadgets, or other valuable items. This form of exploitation preys on children's economic vulnerabilities.
Na i-share ko. Like for example, dun sa isang OSAIC na case na na-rescue namin last year, 17 years old na isang na girl, na batang babae, na nag-report na she was being abused sa mama niya since she was 7 years old. OSAIC yun. So since she was 7 years old, every day sa kanyang buhay, as in araw-araw, lagi kinukuhanan siya ng picture, ng video ng mama niya. Either naliligo siya, nagbibihis siya or pinapahubad siya sa harap ng camera. So everyday yon na parang since she was 7 years old, nangyayari yun sa buhay niya. Doon lang dumating sa ng 17 siya na parang na-realize na teka, hindi na to tama yung ginagawa ng mother niya. Kasi yung mother niya, pinapadala yung picture or yung video niya sa isang certain foreigner din na pinapadalhan sila ng pera. So para sa kanya, yung ginagawa niya at yun yung in-instill ng nanay niya, yun ay trabaho na kailangan niyang gawin to support her family. Pero kung titignan mo yung family, hindi sila yung gano'n na makikita mong typical na mahihirap. Na yung talagang nasa street, hindi siya gano'n. Na-engage sila dahil sa materialism and consumerism. So parang meron silang mga gusto na kailangan nilang ma-maintain yung social status nila, ma-maintain para ma-maintain at makuha nila yung mga gusto nila like mga material, iPhone, yung mga ganun na mga material, kaya nai-engage sila dun sa usay. Isa yun, materialism and consumerism.
In some cases, even parents expose their children to such dangers, believing it to be a means of financial relief. The thing is, the children themselves are often not aware that they're already being abused. It's a heartbreaking reality that highlights the intersection of economic disparity and child abuse.
Alarmingly, these abuses often take place online, with perpetrators taking advantage of digital platforms to exploit children. Social media sites, gaming platforms, and messaging apps have become tools for grooming and coercion. Without strict monitoring and regulation, these platforms continue to be breeding grounds for predators.
So may mga cases tayo na usaik ng online sexual abuse na boyfriend and girlfriend na relationship. So yung mga love bombing dyan, parang kinukuha yung loob ng bata, nagkakaroon sila ng mutual na relationship, and then at the end, ipa-blackmail yung bata, na ipopost. So may mga ganun na mga cases. Malimit lang talaga ang case na poverty. Actually, malimit lang talaga ang case na dahil sa kahirapan na walang-wala. Usually para ma-maintain talaga yung social status nila. Kaya nai-engage sila sa ganun. O ini-engage ng mga parents yung mga anak nila sa ganung activity.
Additionally, locations frequently visited by tourists have been identified as hotspots for these crimes. Some offenders travel to developing countries, including the Philippines, specifically to exploit vulnerable children. This has prompted calls for stronger border controls and international cooperation to track and prosecute offenders across jurisdictions.
Ito yung mga data na consolidate from the PSWDO and the WCPD or yung Women and Children Protection Desk ng provincial level. So kung makikita nyo sa data, sa January 2023 to December 2023, ang pinakamaraming case na nangyari sa Bohol ay ang rape. So meron kaming 95 cases na na-record ng rape na nangyari. Ang rape is, ang alam ko din, sa rape, sa data na to, pinakamarami ang yung tinatawag namin na incest case. Pag sinabi natin incestuous case, ito yung case na kung saan ang offender ay within family member. So it's either the papa, the lolo, the uncle, the unuan, the cousin, gano'n. Basta related siya, family member. So sa rape na to, hindi ko lang mabigay yung data, pero sa 95 cases na to, pinaka-dominant ang incestuous case. Ang pinakamaraming case ay galing sa Ubay Police Station. So meron silang 17 case na mga na-record na mga violence against children and women. Pangalawa, Tagbilaran City na police station, meron silang 13 na cases of violence against children and women. Sumunod yung Calapit, kasama siya sa top 5. May 12 sila na cases on violence against children and women. Pang-apat, ang Buena Vista na police station. Meron silang 12 cases at ang panglima ay ang Tubigon Police Station na meron silang 12. Ang ECPAT Philippines na siya ay 3 actors na focus sa mga intervention and program. So una, meron tayong children and youth. Pangalawa, meron tayong parents, family and community is pangatlo, government. So sa children and youth, of course, ang pinakauna is yung mga awareness raising. So dapat ma-aware. So meron tayong mga awareness raising na activity na kinakandak sa school, sa barangay, kung saan tinuturuan yung mga bata tungkol sa issue na to. Yun, nabanggit ko kanina, like, sa good touch and bad touch, so tinuturo natin sa kanila yun. Part din sa youth and sa children and youth, yung tinatawag namin na empowerment of children and youth empowerment. So, yung mga bata, i-empower namin sila na maging mga youth leaders, kagaya ni Avance, maging youth leaders sa mga community nila saan sila mismo, no, from peer to peer yung pagbabantay nila. Sila mismo kapwa nila babantayan yung mga bata, sila yung magiging parang watch group natin sa community kasi aware sila dun sa issue. So, meron tayong mga tinatawag na peer-to-peer sessions saan nagkakaroon ng training yung mga bata kung paano sila makakapag-handle ng mga disclosure, anong gagawin nila kung may mga report or may mga cases sila na maka-encounter sa community.
The fight against child sexual exploitation is far from over, but with the collaborative efforts of organizations like ECPAT Philippines and government agencies, there is hope for change. Advocacy, education, and stricter law enforcement are necessary to combat this crisis. Raising awareness and taking a stand against such crime can make a difference in protecting the most vulnerable members of our society. We must also recognize that every individual has a role to play, whether by reporting suspicious activities, supporting advocacy groups, and promoting child protection policies. This is an issue that demands attention, action, and commitment from all of us.